We'll be performing a duet scene from Barefoot in the Park by Neil Simon. And we proudly represent District 3.
District 30? 30.
When else? When else was I ever proper and dignified?
Always! You're always dressed right. You always look right. You always say the right things. You know? You're very close to being perfect.
That's a rotten thing to say.
I have never seen you without a jacket. I always feel like such a slob compared to you. Before we were married, I was sure you slept with a tie.
No, just for very formal sleeps.
You can't even walk into a candy store and ask the lady for a Tootsie Roll. You've got to walk up to the counter, point at it, and say, "I'll have that thing in the brown and white wrapper."
That's ridiculous.
And you're not! That's just the trouble. Like Thursday night, you wouldn't walk barefoot with me in Washington Square Park. Why not?
Very simple answer. It was 17 degrees.
Exactly. That's very sensible and logical. Except it isn't any fun.
You know, maybe I am too proper and dignified for you. Maybe you would have been happier with someone a little more colorful and flamboyant, like the geek.
Well, he'd be a lot more laughs in a stuffed shirt.
Well, you said I wasn't.
Well, you are now.
I'm not going to listen to this. I have a court case in the morning.
Where are you going?
To sleep.
Now? How can you sleep now?
I'm going to close my eyes and count Kenichis. Good night.
You can't sleep now. We're having a fight.
You have the fight. Maybe if you turn off the lights.
That gets me insane. You can even control your emotions.
Well, I'm just as upset as you are. But when I get hungry, I eat. And when I get tired, I sleep. You eat and sleep too. Don't deny it. I've seen you.
Not in the middle of a crisis.
What crisis? We're just yelling a little.
You don't consider this a crisis? Our whole marriage hangs in the balance.
It does? When did that happen?
Just now. It's suddenly very clear that you and I have absolutely nothing in common.
Why? Because I will walk barefoot in the park with you? You haven't got a case, Corey. Adultery, yes. Cold feet, no.
Don't oversimplify this. I'm angry. Can't you see that?
Corey! It's 2:15. If I can go to sleep now, I can get about 5 hours of sleep. I'll call you from court tomorrow and we can have this fight over the phone.
You will not go to sleep. You will stay here and fight to save our marriage.
If our marriage hinges on breathing fish balls and poop-la-poo pie, it's not worth saving. I'm now going to crawl into our tiny little single bed. And if you care to join me, we're sleeping from left to right tonight.
You won't discuss it. You're afraid to discuss it. I married a coward.
Corey, would you bring in a pail to cause the stripping again?
I hate you! I really hate you!
There is one thing I learned in court. Be careful when you're tired and angry. You might say something you soon regret. I am now tired and angry.
And a coward.
No, now say something I soon regret. Okay, Corey, maybe you're right. Maybe we have nothing in common. Maybe we rushed in this marriage a little too fast. Maybe love isn't enough. Maybe two people should have to take more than a blood test. Maybe they should be checked for understanding, common sense, and emotional maturity.
All right. Why don't you get it passed in the Supreme Court? Only those couples bearing a letter from their psychiatrist proving they're well-adjusted will be permitted to be married.
You're impossible.
You're unbearable.
You belong in a nursery school.
Well, it's a lot more fun than the home for the fuddy-duddies.
Right.
Don't touch me. Don't you touch me. I don't want you near me ever again.
Now wait a minute, Corey.
No. I can't even look at you now. I can't even be in the same room with you now.
Why?
I just can't, that's all. Not when you feel this way.
When I feel what way?
The way you feel about me.
Corey, you're hysterical.
I'm not hysterical. I know exactly what I'm saying. It's no good between us, Paul. It never will be again.
Holy cow.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry.
Oh, for Pete's sake, cry. If you want to cry, go ahead and cry.
Don't you tell me when to cry. I'll cry when I want to cry. And I'm not going to have my cry until you're out of this apartment.
What do you mean, out of this apartment?
You certainly don't think we're going to live here together, do you? After tonight?
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious.
A divorce? What?
I'm sorry, Paul. I can't speak about it any longer. Good night.
Wait a minute. Where are you going?
To bed.
You can't, not now.
You did before.
That was the middle of a fight. This is the middle of a divorce.
I can't speak with you when you're hysterical. Good night.
See?